What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Alright, today's scenario, it's gonna sound a little weird at first, but let me explain. So Bardock, going to the future, how and why would that happen? Well, it's pretty simple actually. If we take what happened in an episode of Bardock, he did time travel just to the past. So instead, what if he time traveled to the future? It's a simple change, and it actually kind of fits in what happened with that story. I mean, the story never really made that much sense anyways, so hey, that leaves it open for me to do whatever I want with it. For this video, we'll set a like goal of 4,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue the series with another part and maybe some more beyond that. Anyways, let's begin this story. So we start off with Bardock's rebellion against Frieza. Alongside planet Vegeta's destruction, it seems that Bardock dies, although not really. He is gone, at least from that moment in time. Through whatever nonsense caused him to go to the past, this time he ends up somewhere else. And not just in the future, but in a completely different place. I mean, if the dude can time travel, it's not that weird if I make him travel across space as well. Again, I know it's weird, but it didn't really make much sense in the first place. This way I have more fun with it. And you'll be seeing why in a bit. He ends up in a city. He can't tell what planet he's on, but hey, the atmosphere is breathable, so that's a good sign at least. But still, it seems kind of decrepit over here. The place he's in seems destroyed. There's no sign of life anywhere. Of course, Bardock himself is very confused. What is this? Is his life flashing before his eyes or something? Is this one of the many planets he helped genocide or something? No, this can't be. He would recognize it definitely. This is just a place that he doesn't know. To make matters worse, he's injured, and he doesn't even have a scouter with him. He's injured and lost beyond belief. Not to mention really confused. Last he remembers he almost got blown up by Frieza. And to make matters worse and even weirder, his foresight begins acting up again. He can't even really tell what he's seeing because it was very brief. But it was similar to one of the images he saw before. Someone in orange. It wasn't Kakarot, it was someone that looked like Kakarot. And he was facing two mysterious figures. The premonition was very brief and vague, so he can't tell what he just saw. But this just makes Bardock even more confused. Can he catch a break? Although he doesn't have a scouter, he hears someone nearby. It sounds like people flying. He looks around nervously, not sure what to expect. That flight, it could have just been some animal, but it could have been a foe, or it could have been an ally. He doesn't know. But he's confused and angry right now. He doesn't know what to do. So he yells out at this potential threat. He tells whoever it is to stop hiding, or else he'll have no choice but to attack. He waits for a moment. There's no response. Quickly, he charges an energy blast, launching it down one of the alleyways where he thought he heard noise. And as he does that, it's almost as if time slows down. He feels a massive gust of wind, actually two. Two objects, or people, fly past him. He's only barely able to dodge, but it kind of knocks him back a bit. He turns around quickly, and looking behind him he sees two figures. One looks like a child, and the other an adult. But as the adult turns around, both of them become speechless, looking at each other in pure bewilderment. Bardock recognizes that outfit. It was the guy he just saw in his premonition. And as for the man looking back at Bardock, he recognizes that hairstyle and that face. But it's definitely not who he thinks it is. This is obviously Gohan and Trunks. And he has no idea what to think about this. Some random person just showed up and he looks exactly like Goku. But he's wearing something completely different, and he has some minor changes, such as the scar on his face. Trunks asks what's going on, but Gohan doesn't really know either. Wait, he remembers. Raditz. Goku had a random brother that showed up out of nowhere. So what if this is another low-class Saiyan here to fight them? Maybe one that they ended up missing. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. And not to mention, he does look exactly like Goku. All low-class Saiyans do look pretty similar apparently, so maybe this is another case like that. All he knows for sure is this definitely isn't his father. Bardock begins getting confrontational. Why don't they just help him? Why are they trying to fight him? He's not here as a threat. He doesn't even know why he's here. Gohan tells Bardock that he's not the first Saiyan they fought against. They will stop him no matter what. This only confuses Bardock even further, but if it's a fight they want, it's a fight they'll get. The two hybrid Saiyans launch towards Bardock, with Gohan remaining in base the entire time. Bardock is still pretty beat up after all, not to mention, the gap in power is too big. He tries putting up a fight, but he can't manage anything. They easily dispatch him, with Bardock on the ground even more injured than before. Gohan props him up against a wall, holding out a single hand and charging a blast. He wants an explanation right now. They're already dealing with these androids. They don't want to deal with another Saiyan here, especially one that looks exactly like Goku. He doesn't say all this out loud, but he does tell Bardock. He wants to know right now who he is and why he's here. And once again, Bardock sees that same vision from before, except it's more vivid this time. It's the Saiyan in front of him. He sees him clearly now, but this time he has yellow hair, and he's facing those two figures once again, although he's near death, and it seems he's missing an arm. Bardock then sees a brilliant flash of light, and the premonition disappears. Weakly, Bardock just tells him to calm down. He needs to collect his thoughts for a second. Gohan and Trunks do let their guard down, but this is only because they know that Bardock's too weak to handle them. but they saw his expression just now. He looked really weird. They want to know what's wrong with him. He tells them what he saw, and it sounds weird at first. I mean, there's this random guy here saying he could see the future, but then he says something interesting. He saw the guy in front of him, with yellow hair, fighting two people. This just weirds them out even more. Somehow this guy knows about the androids, and the fact that Gohan has Super Saiyan, which he hasn't used during this battle. Instead of being confrontational like before, they're just more confused than they were at first. Wait, so this guy's a Saiyan, he knows about the androids somehow, and he knows about Super Saiyan, but first of all, what did he just see right now? And second of all, if he knows what Super Saiyan is, why didn't he use it? This actually catches Bardock off guard. So that was Super Saiyan. Not only does this confirm to him that it exists, but it confirms that these two are actually Saiyans. Or at least the one in orange. Bardock has so many questions, but before he could say anything, he passes out. While unconscious, he has another vision. Everything's black, except for a little fuzzy image. A man with purple hair. He's standing next to a yellow vehicle of sorts. It becomes a little clearer. It was that same kid that he saw before, except older now. He boards the vehicle that he's standing next to, and it disappears. Bardock then suddenly wakes up. He sees the two people from before standing over him, as well as some woman. Bardock sits up, feeling a little bit better. It seems they actually brought him back somewhere safe and healed him. And just like before, Gohan and Trunks aren't even mad at this guy, they're just still confused. So Bardock begins explaining. He says he's a Saiyan named Bardock. He's from a planet called Vegeta, and this clearly isn't that same place. He remembers some vague visions that he had before, as well as the fact that he was fighting Frieza. The last thing he remembers was seeing Frieza attack him, which he thought was fake at first, but the fact that he was so injured, that proves that it was real to some degree. Wait, he was fighting Frieza? That makes no sense. Frieza's been dead for years. Wait, Frieza's dead? Yeah, they explained to him. Over a decade ago, there was a fierce battle on planet Namek. That's where the first Super Saiyan came to be. Frieza nearly died during that battle, but he was revived, and eventually he came to Earth for his revenge, where he was finally killed by Goku, Gohan's father. Okay, so that tells Bardock two things. For one, he knows he's in the future, or at least it seems like it. Frieza's been dead for over a decade. But also, the fact that someone fought Frieza on Namek and became a Super Saiyan. He didn't see the Super Saiyan in his visions. Or at least he doesn't remember that besides what he saw with Gohan. But he's racking his mind, and he does remember. He had one vision before. It was Frieza, transformed. He looked different. They were on a green planet. And the person he was facing was Kakarot, his son. Bardock jolts out of the bed, frantically asking Gohan, the person that killed Frieza, the original Super Saiyan, did he happen to look just like him? This is only weirding out Gohan more and more, and he confirms this. And Bardock has one more question. Was the Saiyan named Kakarot? Kinda shocked by this, Gohan hesitantly confirms once more. I can't believe it. The Super Saiyan, the one to defeat Frieza. It was my son. Wait, this is Goku's father? That doesn't make sense. How is he alive? How did he even get here? But they can't really say it's not true. This guy does look exactly like Goku, and he knew a lot somehow. The fact that he instantly guessed that the Super Saiyan's name was Kakarot, the one who faced Frieza. But wait, that also means this is Gohan's grandfather. And Bardock sees it now. He sees the resemblance between Kakarot and Gohan, or at least himself and Gohan. That explains why he's wearing the same orange gi. And it's weird, something about that boy in front of him seems familiar too. But he can't quite pin down the resemblance. He asks, is that kid's father a Saiyan as well? Well yeah, he's Vegeta's son. Vegeta? As in, the prince? Wow, he really missed a lot, so he kinda needs to be caught up on everything. Kakarot was here, and Vegeta was here too, and he has a kid? Both of them actually did. And also, he wants to know, who was that he saw in his premonition? Those two people that Gohan was fighting. They begin explaining everything about what happened on Earth so far, catching Bardock up to speed. He would love to meet Kakarot, but Kakarot's been long dead. Those two figures that Bardock saw in his premonition, those were androids 17 and 18. Just like Kakarot, Vegeta is dead as well. As far as they know, Bardock is the last surviving pure Saiyan, which it doesn't still make sense how he's here. He doesn't know what happened either, but he tells them about everything that's happened to him. Things have been getting really weird. He was able to acquire some ability to have foresight, and he tells them he's had visions of Kakarot. Wait, in one of the visions, he remembers seeing that girl there. She was much younger, but it was Bulma there definitely. And he begins trying to remember more and more. He saw one, there was an old man with sunglasses and some bald kid, Krillin and Roshi. He saw Kakarot fighting some green guy, Piccolo. It seems his premonition ability actually is true. Everything he sees comes to be. Somehow, he was able to see Kakarot meet all these people, and face off against Frieza. Everyone begins calming down as everything's explained. They still can't really tell what's going on and how Bardock got here, but at least Bardock's caught up to speed about where he is and who these people are. So, he saw some premonition about Gohan before. What was happening in that one? Well, he was fighting those two figures, and from what Bardock remembers, he only had one arm. He was in Super Saiyan, and he was fighting alone. For some reason, Trunks wasn't there. And at the end of it, everything just went white, as he heard a giant explosion. It's kind of a grim premonition. It seems like what he saw was Gohan's death. But he did also see something else. Trunks, at least an older version of him. He was next to some yellow machine, and they actually know what this is. That's the time machine that Bulma's working on. So it seems Bulma does complete the time machine, and Trunks ends up going back somehow. And then they realize they could use Bardock's ability to their advantage. If he could tell when Gohan's gonna die, they could avoid that. Oh yeah, we're going Tokyo Revengers with this. Well, kinda, you get what I mean. Bardock now has to change the future, with his premonitions helping him. He's definitely going to help them. I mean, this is his grandson after all, and they're trying to stop whatever threat they're fighting. He doesn't really know what else to do, and he kinda wants to figure out how he got here and what's happening. But if he's gonna help them, he needs to know one thing. Can they teach him Super Saiyan? Well, of course. I mean, it seems like Bardock's a little bit weak in comparison to them now. Well, actually very weak. Thankfully, when he healed up from his last injuries, he did get a lot stronger, although he's still not near the level of even Trunks right now. But they'll train him. Gohan's been training Trunks to get Super Saiyan, and he's kinda getting close, but he's not quite there yet. But Bardock, he might actually be able to obtain it. Oh, Bardock actually has one more question. So, do they know anything about Raditz? And there's an awkward silence. Bardock's smirk immediately drops. Oh no, what did Raditz do this time? They explain, and he's not even really that surprised. Damn, that's a shame. Both of his sons killed together by a Namekian. And then Kakarot comes back to life. What a weird story. And just like Bardock, Gohan and Trunks and even Bulma are still pretty lost as to how he got here. Now, the thing is, he didn't time travel like them. See, we don't really know how Bardock's time travel worked or what the hell even happened with that. So, along with the liberties I took before, I'm going to take one more and say he didn't go across timelines. He actually did go to the future in the same timeline that he was in. So, I guess technically this makes him future Bardock because he's in the future Trunks and Gohan timeline. And just before anyone asks, no, this doesn't happen in other timelines, it's only this one because otherwise we're going to have like 20 Bardocks running around trying to figure out where they are. I mean, that would kind of be like Dragon Ball Legends at that point, and I don't want to get that confusing. That would be kind of funny in concept though, so hey, at least there's that. Anyways, Bardock begins getting used to life on Earth. The great thing is he's still a pretty skilled warrior. Despite him being weak in terms of pure strength, he's very smart and tactical. And with how good of a fighter Bardock is, and how intelligent he is, combined with the fact that he has Gohan there training him, I think he would actually be able to unlock Super Saiyan pretty easily. After all, he would need to summon his anger for it, and as you can tell, Bardock is a pretty angsty guy. Not to mention a really confused guy. Although this kind of bumps Trunks out. This random dude showed up out of nowhere and got Super Saiyan before him. Also, weird thing that I just realized, Bardock and Gohan could likely be around the same age. We don't know exactly how old Bardock was, but it's not wrong to assume that he might be in his 20s around where Gohan is. Which is kind of funny and weird to think about. He's as old as his grandson, or just about. And that makes him younger than his son, too. Well, at least physically. Eventually, we arrive to the battle where Gohan originally dies. Bardock can tell, this is the place. This is where Gohan originally fell to the androids. But now, he has Bardock along his side. And although Bardock isn't incredibly strong, he's gotten a lot stronger since he got here. Not to mention he has Super Saiyan right now. And the thing is, he's been able to tone his foresight somewhat. He can't really control it, but he's able to tell when bad things are happening during a battle. It's kind of like a spidey sense in a way. He really wants to get a better control of it though. If he gets full control over it, it'll have some great potential. But as of now, it only seems to activate in moments of pure distress. He hasn't been able to use it too much. But during training, he actually did have a premonition of himself becoming Super Saiyan, which was weird, but also kind of cool. So they're becoming more frequent and less random. They actually do somewhat pertain to his goal, although he doesn't know when they're going to appear. They fight without Trunks first, and the androids are pretty surprised to see Goku here, or at least what they assume is Goku. He looks exactly like Goku, his hair, his face, everything, although his outfit's different. But both Gohan and Bardock confirm, this isn't Goku. But Bardock can kind of tell one thing, they're not going to win this battle. In their current state, they're not nearly strong enough to actually defeat the androids, even with their combined power, and with Bardock being in Super Saiyan. However, this will help both of them gauge the androids' power, more specifically Bardock. He hasn't actually fought them yet, and getting to meet them in person is actually a big deal. He gets to see what they've been up against, and the androids get to see who's here with Gohan and Trunks now. They can't tell who he is or why he looks like Goku, but it doesn't matter. They'll kill him just like the others. Gohan's able to test his new strength against the androids, and it doesn't really do much, but it's definitely a big difference from where he was before. But still, Bardock had a bad feeling about this battle anyways. They just wanted to be here to see how strong Gohan is in comparison to the androids, and Bardock needed to get a feel for it as well. This is supposed to be the battle where Gohan died, but instead, he's saved here. He and Bardock end up retreating. And they realize they actually have no other option. They do need to time travel. They were hoping they wouldn't need to resort to that. And they could keep training, but even if they keep training harder and harder, they're not sure if they're going to ever be able to defeat the androids. So more time passes. Trunks grows up, and eventually he even gets Super Saiyan. Bardock's getting closer and closer to the level of both of them. Even with 3 Super Saiyans, they have a tough time against the androids. However, if they were to fight one just alone, they would be able to defeat that android, but together, they're unstoppable. Although, hope has arrived. The time machine is finally complete. They're going to stop any of this from ever happening. Although, they're not too sure what to expect. Especially Bardock. This means he's going to meet Kakarot. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. So, what do you guys think about this story so far, and what do you think might happen next time? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as clicking the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any of the videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.